Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody had a wonderful Monday. This is Dr. Debbie Bedoui with Evolve Global 22. Live stream Evolve with me. For those of you who don't know, I am an intuitive healing, health, and wellness practitioner and educator. And tonight, I have a big announcement to make. The EG22 Healing Light Studio is now up and running. And we are going to not only have this live stream, not only can we bring our work to the world via the internet and Zooms worldwide, but now we actually have an on-ground studio that is going to start sometime in December. Everything is still in the works. And it's called EG22 Healing Light Studio. Heal in your divine light, live in your power. So something I wanted to share with everybody tonight. So we will have not only offerings that all of our offerings can be done completely online via Zoom and or hybrid model where people in the Malvern, PA area and surrounding areas can do a hybrid between Zoom and on ground, because we are opening our own studio. So exciting things. Like I said, it's still in the works. When I have all the details, you will know. If you go to www.evolveglobal22usa.com, everything has been updated there with our offerings at this time. We will build on those. There's an explanation. Our hours are, it's by appointment only at this time. So yes, great things happening here. Now let's talk about tonight, because tonight's Monday. So if you recall, this live stream is on Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mondays are mindful moments, and we are exploring this great book, The Science of the Sacred, Bridging Global Indigenous Medicine Systems and Modern Scientific Principles. We're going to get into that in a second. Tuesdays are Healing in Real Life, small wins, small challenges, big wins, big challenges, real life stories about healing, things that get in our way, stories of success. All of that is on Tuesdays. And then Wednesdays are Threads of Trinity. Come crochet with me or bring your creative projects and we sit and chit chat. This is not a formal course. This is not, sit down and study. This is a chat, and where we talk about important topics, where we learn together, where we explore ideas and things together, all surrounding healing, health, and wellness. Thursdays are Light Talk and Spiritual Flow. We are going to talk about something. I'm going to share a personal experience this Thursday with you, something that it's been happening and evolving over the last couple of years or so, but something really significant happened, and I want to share it with all of you. And then Fridays are always a wellness drop-in. So great things. I'm so grateful and pleased that you are here with me today. Remember the live streams. What I do is, obviously, they're on my YouTube channel. Please visit there, subscribe, like, and share. any support that you give our work is very, very much appreciated, because I do a lot of work for free. I put a lot of content out for free. We don't turn anybody away. So you can also visit our website and give a gift of gratitude if you find the content and these live streams valuable to you, and support our work so that we can continue to do what we do and reach as many people as possible. Remember, in our live streams, we always start with our opening mantra. So, oh, and by the way, my sound issues are fixed, I hope. I have a new microphone. You can't see it, but it's here. Friday, if you notice, if you go on my YouTube or Facebook, the Friday live stream is not in the live stream section on YouTube. I had to take it down. The sound was terrible. I don't even know what happened. I didn't even know it. I did a meditation, a live guided meditation, and then it really messed up the sound. The quality was horrible. So I took it down, re-recorded the meditation piece, because that's where it got messed up. And then I put it out as a video. So it's still there, but it's under videos. But hopefully that's all taken care of now. So let's start now with our Rise in Light mantra. So first, before we do this, let's take a deep breath in and out. Release all the stuff for today. Just push it all away. Breathe in, deep breath, and your stomach, when you breathe in, should come out, don't suck it in. So breathe in and push everything away. Number 3, breathe in and out, push it all away. And there's so many other strategies and meditations and breath work and all sorts of great things that we're going to do together. This is one that I use all the time. Now let's put our hand over our heart. And I want you to just take a moment, just silently with yourself, your inner voice. And I want you to make the intention that you're going to connect with your heart. So just breathe your regular breaths and then make your intention. I'm going to connect with my heart. I'm connecting with my heart. You're going to say that with your inner voice. Good, great. Now that we are present in the moment, we release some stuff from the day. Let's do our mantra, Rise in Light. You can repeat after me. And I'm going to do it a little bit more slowly than I did last week, because I got the feeling or the idea that I did it quickly, and perhaps my wonderful friends could not follow along exactly the way that maybe they wanted to. So I rise in truth. I breathe in healing. I walk in wholeness. I am perfectly imperfect, and I evolve through love, light, and purpose. So that is our mantra, our opening mantra. Now, tonight, Monday, mindful moments. Now, I have notes because I have to work from notes. There is just too much stuff. So let's review just a little bit about the introduction. Last week, we covered the introduction. And basically, the science of the sacred opens by explaining that indigenous healing systems from the Arctic to the Amazon to the Pacific are not alternative medicine. They are thousands of years of old knowledge systems built through observing relationship, intuition, and a deep connection to the land. Dr. Redvers, a physician of Indigenous background, explains that these systems hold incredible wisdom about the body, nature, and healing that modern science is only recently beginning to validate. One of the key ideas was Indigenous knowledge and Western science are not opponents. They're not opposing each other. They are two different ways of seeing reality. And when combined, they provide a full map of human health and the natural world. So the introduction emphasized everything is connected. I told you this book was the why about everything Evolve Global 22. Indigenous healers observed observed plants, people, cycles, and patterns for millennia. This is empirical knowledge passed down through story, ceremony, and practice. Many plant medicines and healing rituals have been backed up by new scientific research, but indigenous communities knew this long before the lab proved it. Number 3, another point, Western science is powerful but incomplete. Modern science brings tools like microscopes, MRI machines, molecular biology, epidemiology, but modern science often misses spirituality, meaning, emotional and community healing, relationships with nature, and energetic principles. The book argues that healing improves when both systems are respected. That is a huge point. Number 4 in the introduction, let me see, yes. Number 4, a key point in the introduction was colonialism disrupted indigenous medicine. Number 5, healing must be holistic. Indigenous medicine looks at the body, mind, spirit, community, land, lifestyle, purpose. This is our approach here at Evolve Global 22. Our power of 3 is aligned with this world view. So the overall message of the introduction of the science of the sacred is healing is not just physical. Healing is relational, spiritual, scientific, and energetic. To solve today's health crises, we must combine the wisdom of indigenous traditions with the tools of modern science. Now, that was basically the introduction. And by the way, I'm working on getting a whole little packet together that has all of this with reflection questions in it. So let's get right into chapter 1. Let me find my notes. Let me see. Chapter 1. Okay. So chapter 1 is entitled The Natural Physicist. And the quote that it starts with is, reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. That's Albert Einstein said that. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. Now let me just do a quick summary of the chapter before we actually read portions of it. So, this chapter, chapter 1, The Natural Physicist, explains that every human being long ago or long before modern hospitals and pharmaceuticals relied on nature as their first teacher, first doctor, and first medicine cabinet. Indigenous peoples lived closely with the land, so they learned healing through observation, relationship, intuition, and patterns in nature. Dr. Redvers highlights a truth often forgotten in modern life. And the people who paid close attention to it, the natural physicians, were the first scientists. Indigenous healers learned from animal behavior, plant cycles, seasons, water, weather, and wind, the stars, and the body's natural systems. They could see patterns that modern science now verifies. Inflammation, stress responses, nutrition, and plant-based pharmacology long before microscopes or lab tests existed. So this chapter emphasizes humans once lived in alignment with nature. And in that alignment, health was stronger and disease was less common. Modern life has separated us from nature. This separation has created stress, chronic illness, we hear that every day and see it, and emotional disconnection, mental health issues. The body is built to heal if we support its natural intelligence. The next point that's brought out in this chapter, Indigenous knowledge is based on watching how natural systems organize, repair, and balance themselves. This same intelligence exists innately inside of us. A true healer works with nature, not against it. So let me see today. Okay, so I'm going to start by reading an excerpt or portions of this. It's not very long, so stay with me. I am often baffled by the complexity in the world. However, on closer inspection, I realize that if we carefully dissect any living or inert thing, we arrive at the same endpoint. Take our physical bodies, for example. We have our muscles and bones, which are made up of cells, which are themselves made up of cell organs, organelles, which are made up of proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Lipids are fats, which are made from elements such as carbon and hydrogen, which are made up of atoms, which are themselves made up of electrons and quarks, which make protons and neutrons. These electrons and quarks are considered fundamental particles that cannot be broken down any further. If something cannot be broken down any further, then there is nothing physical about the something in the first place. This is consistent with the main theories of physics, string theory, particle physics, and quantum physics, which describe these fundamental particles as vibrations, electromagnetic fields, or simply indivisible. Therefore, if I decided to put on some special magnifying glasses that enabled me to visualize the fundamental particles that we are made of, I would see a whole lot of nothing. In fact, if I looked around myself at the tables and chairs, the dog, the plant, everything would look exactly the same. There would be no separate entities, as the air would look the same as the so-called physical objects. Ultimately, if we follow the makeup of our physical bodies, or anything for that matter, to its smallest parts, we will find that we are made up of only vibrations, electromagnetic fields, and nothing. Sounds a little new age, doesn't it? However, this is basic physics. Interestingly, in Chinese medicine philosophy, the energy permeating qi can be compared to fundamental particles in physics, as they both, in essence, link their surroundings together. Therefore, qi is the life force, the vital energy that permeates all creation. All things are said to come from qi. Qi flows and connects everything to each other. A vibration is a vibration is a vibration, and nothing is nothing is nothing. So if qi is qi, as per Chinese medicine, we can see the utilization of different terminology to describe the same fundamental state in which the universe exists. Ayurvedic medicine, one of our powers of three, one of the oldest medicine systems on the planet, states that all things in the universe, both living and non-living, are joined together. Unity on a fundamental particle level. Interconnectedness between all things is the basis on which other natural laws are built. If a vibration is a vibration is a vibration, then all things are exactly the same on a relatively non-existent structural level. This means that on the energetic level, all things are joined together by the same forces. Lewis Hill describes the Aboriginal view on holism, which again emphasizes the importance and understanding of the underlying connectedness of all things. For example, interconnection. And this is what he says. Holism relates to the inherent interconnection with the earth and all the spirits of creation. The centered and quartered circle is a sign of wholeness, of inclusiveness, of all reality, of life, of balance, and harmony between man and nature. Up until now, we have had these wonderful magnifying glasses that let us see the scientific connectedness between all matter on the planet. Now, if we take off these special glasses, we witness some sort of intelligent order where all of this nothing is able to organize itself on a macro level to produce what we see through our physical eyes, the human body, flesh on bone, under skin, invigorated with life energy through our conscious and unconscious wills. Many different indigenous groups have descriptions of what physics describes as the subatomic level. The proven reality that we, as well as inert objects, are all made up of the same fundamental particles is often described by traditional cultures, religions, and philosophies as their interconnectedness. Regardless of the geographic location of a group of people on the planet and irrespective of the level of isolation they live in. The interconnectedness on an energy level is consistently understood by the majority of indigenous and ancient healing systems. The philosophical foundation of traditional knowledge in Aboriginal groups revolves around a holistic model that recognizes the intimate interconnectedness between the person, the food they eat, their environment, health, and healing. If we take the knowledge of basic physics to point, we can clearly see that there is no real difference between a person, the food they eat, and their environment, particularly if going to the indivisible level or vibrational level of that which is essentially nothing. Great sages were said to come out of deep meditation with the realization that all we are is a thought. Dr. Paul Davies, a well-known professor of mathematical physics, estimates that the time required to achieve the level of order we now meet in the universe purely by random processes is the order of at least 10 to the 1080th power in years, much longer than the current age of the universe. In their book, Angst and Evolution, The Struggle for Human Potential, F.X. Jeswick and J.M. Gist quote the following from systems theorists, etc. Now that goes into a lot of jargon, so I'm going to skip that part, and I'm going to skip down to natural laws are stable and binding in many cultures. However, there's an understanding of the changing dynamic between forces that keep the relative stability of our earthly existence, avoiding potential catastrophes such as the sun exploding. This constant flux of balance that keeps our system stable is described in Chinese medicine as yin and yang, the philosophy of opposites and balance. According to this understanding, everything in the universe is balanced by its own polar opposite. Again, from a Western standpoint, we see this reflected in the behavior of the fundamental particles. Protons are positively charged and electrons are negatively charged. So if we have the same number of both present, the atom is in a neutral balanced state. Skip forward a little bit, and I'm gonna do a simplified summary. What did I want to hit? Many other spiritual people and cultures describe this as the spirit-soul connection. The spirit is considered the ultimate vibrational force of the universe for many cultures, calling it a form of God or creator, and the soul is your specific vibration in it. According to Paramahansa Yogananda, the purpose or definition of meditation is the science of reuniting the soul with the infinite spirit, reuniting your vibration with the ultimate vibration. As previously described in Hinduism, the word Om produces the sound and vibration which makes you feel one with the universe. And the Hindus are not the only cultural group to try and connect with this vibratory holographic reality, argued among physicists. Black Elk and Oglesue Holy Man describes the significance of the drum, which is used in almost all indigenous cultures around the world. This is why sound healing works so well. Since the drum is often the only instrument used in our sacred rites, this is, remember, the Sioux people, I should perhaps tell you here why it is especially sacred and important to us. It is because the round form of the drum represents the whole universe, and its steady, strong beat is the pulse, the heart throbbing at the center of the universe, which is vibration. It is the voice of the Great Spirit. The Great Spirit basically can be translated as God. And this sound stirs us and helps us to understand the mystery and power of all things. In higher states of meditation, reached only by those who have sat in silence for many years with proper guidance and patience, it is said that the sound of the universe will be heard. So that just talks a little bit about sound. Now, something else that's interesting that I came across the other day, side note here, that I came across the other day is the sound Om. When you, in meditation, one of the mantras you can use is Om. That sound is, if you listen to the sound of the planets you can go into NASA and you can listen to different sounds. And if you listen to the sounds of the earth, that's what it sounds like. If you listen to the sounds of different living things, that's what it sounds like. So it's really interesting when you really start making connections between things. So let's skip forward. You cannot understand true medicine power in whatever capacity that may be unless you have an understanding of the nature of things. It is why so many indigenous cultures cannot separate their bodies and health from the environment around them, including the animals, the rocks, the plants, the stars, and the winds. Every ritual, dance, prayer, and song is done to connect with this underlying fundamental energy force within the universe that can be heard, felt, and seen when the state of mind that transcends the physicality of the body. When people have a true understanding of self and the universe, they become one and the same. And through this, they achieve peace. This peace can then translate to meaning, focus, purpose, and the ability to use this short physical life as a hologram to allow others to achieve the same. So, what do the physicists teach us about the world and therefore our bodies? They give us scientific words and studies to describe what previous indigenous cultures have known for generations, that we are fundamentally all the same in an interconnected energy field. Remember, the fundamental particles cannot be broken down any further. If something cannot be broken down any further, there is nothing physical about that something in the first place. That our lives may only appear to exist engendered as holographic images on a two-dimensional field that tricks our sense of physicality into a realm that brings more mystery than answers. Ask any physicist. So what does that mean for everyday life? That's what I want to know. It means we, like everything else, have and are a central core of energy that we can connect to anytime and anywhere. We all have a peaceful, safe haven within us, regardless of the endless ups and downs of life. We have a place where we can retreat to within our own bodies and minds through meditation, song, dance, drumming, and rituals. By deciding to work toward an understanding of the vibrational force, which is a universe, we all make a decision to live more than we ever have before. This is not esoteric. It is science at its purest and rawest form. Or as my wise sister said, we are not New Age, we are native. Realistically, it is hard to sit quietly in meditation with gas pains or heartburn. It is hard to dance with painful arthritis. It is hard to sing when you don't know life's song. Because of this, many cultures around the world had unique medicine systems that connected physical pursuits with specific food rituals and eating patterns that were done in concordance with the underlying pursuit of connection with the vibrational force of the universe. The mass of energy that we know as our bodies was known to be a better conduit of vibrational force if it followed specific pathways of holistic wellness. That ties right into Ayurveda medicine and aligning with your specific body dosha, which is body type. Over thousands of years, medicine systems were developed and reformatted with the underlying principle of health remaining the same. There needed to be a balance between the physical mass, the mental emotional sphere, and the spiritual plane, which is not the same as religion. The only medicine system that has not followed the same basic principles has been in existence for the shortest time is the Western biomedical system. Because of this, we often see the conventional and traditional approaches pitted against each other instead of cooperating to combine their knowledge powers. The difference between an evidence-based conventional and an evidence-informed traditional approach to medicine is an important distinction, but they do not necessarily, depending on the circumstances, need to be in opposition with each other. In addition, the traditional or evidence-informed approach is arguably becoming more evidence-based for certain treatments. Conventional medicine looks at the randomized controlled trial as the gold standard in medicine, isolating limited variables to assess response and creating guidelines on specific pathologic entities based on the response. Anything that is not evidence-based is questioned for validity, applicability, and safety. Traditional medicine is evidence-informed. That is, it utilizes generations of verbal and written data and experience to assess response and continued applicability and safety in the context of a holistic model of care. Conventional primary care medicine is based on illness and prevention, and of course, treatment of that illness. Traditional medicine is based on overall balance and supporting the body if it gets out of balance. The list of differences between the two approaches is considerable and includes how each defines the desired health outcomes to be free of disease, entity, or to be in harmony on a mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical level. With these seemingly different philosophies, we must remember that to understand the physical body, we must understand it at its fundamental level, regardless of opinion or belief. From there, we can work our way up to apply traditional and conventional understanding of health and disease while creating a balance of knowledge from both medicine worlds. So basically, we're talking about the two different systems. And my question to you is, do you see this in your day-to-day when you're dealing with the medical system and when you look at maybe different holistic approaches? Have you experienced this? Ultimately, one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself today is to engage in one of the activities that remind your body of the interconnectedness of all things. This does not necessarily require sitting for hours in the lotus meditation pose or chanting ancient scriptures by moonlight. What it does mean is to connect to your culture and roots, wherever they may be, as there is a good chance that they had rituals or songs used to connect oneself to the vibrational energy. If you don't know how to connect with your roots or are disconnected for whatever reason from your culture, area, or people, if you are not sure what your true identity or is, or don't feel your background holds any specific special rituals or ceremonies, they were imparted to give peace. This does not preclude you from enjoying this great benefit. There are so many resources. Right here is a resource. The studio is a resource. There's so many resources out there and ways to get what we need. So let's see. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to switch from the actual reading of the book, and I want to give you the simplified read aloud that I prepared and some important points of chapter 1. Nature was humanity's first doctor. Long before hospitals or pills, people learned how to heal by paying attention, really paying attention to the world around them. Indigenous communities watched how animals healed themselves, how plants grew, how seasons changed, and how the human body responded to its environment. They noticed patterns, they noticed energy, they noticed imbalance, and they learned how to bring the body back into harmony. The real physician has always been nature itself. The people who understood nature were the natural physicians. But something happened over time. We moved indoors, we disconnected from the land, we started living in ways that don't match how our bodies were designed to thrive. And because of that, many of us experience stress, exhaustion, inflammation, and chronic illness. Not because the body's broken, but because the body is out of rhythm with nature. This chapter also teaches us that the human body has a built-in intelligence, the ability to heal, repair, restore, and rebalance. Indigenous medicine knew this. Science is finally catching up, I would say at a snail's pace a little bit. So the message of chapter 1 is this: to heal deeply, we must reconnect with nature, with our bodies, with our own instincts. We must remember that healing is not outside us. Healing is built inside us, into us. And every time we breathe, slow down, touch the earth, eat real food, rest, or connect with spirit, we return to the natural physician within. Now, my question to you is, when was the last time that you spent quiet time in nature? When was the last time? Now, I don't mean that you have to necessarily, travel an hour to get to the forest or whatever. I mean, sometimes just make it simple. Find a tree, driving on your way someplace, taking a walk, go out and look at well, in the springtime, it would be a garden, but, go out in the wintertime, it's snow, grass, anything that's from the natural world. And then when you do that, how does your body feel when you connect with the natural world? Now I'm going to hold off on that thought. So let's talk about listening to the body. Do you trust your body's ability to heal? And I want you to think about it and reflect upon it. Journal about it tonight. Do you trust your body's ability to heal? Why or why not? What signals does your body give you when something is off balance? Most people today don't even know they're out of balance. Question: do you feel most energized in the morning, the afternoon, or the night? Do you feel calmer indoors or outdoors? Have you ever used plants, herbs, or teas for healing? Yes, no, and what have you used? The reason that we do these micro learning sessions on Monday nights, as I told you in the last Monday, is knowledge is power. I can sit here and tell you all of my thoughts, all of my opinions, all of what I think and what I do. And if you don't believe it, if you don't see it, then you can't benefit, right? I mean, we can't just accept something at face value, but this has been studied. This is an excellent book. If you are starting your own library, you need to get this book. I started reading this online, and I actually ordered the book because I wanted to put it in my library. But at Evolve Global 22, what I have been, standing on the mountaintop and preaching for I don't know how long. And in our Healing Light studio, we use the power of 3. And the reason that I created the power of 3, it was first based on my own experience and my own journey. When I realized that we have to deal with the body, the mind, the soul, and the spirit. If you negate any of those, it's impossible to be in balance. It's impossible to be healed and well. You can do little things here and there to make yourself feel better for a little bit, but you're still heading for illness. And we can see that. We can see in our own lives or the lives of our loved ones or just humanity as a whole, how much chronic illness is out there. The list just keeps getting longer and longer and longer and longer. Chronic illness should not even really exist. Most of them. All of the gut issues. All of the inflammatory diseases. All of the immune diseases. They should be minimal. It shouldn't be the norm. It should be something that is a small segment of humanity. We have to ask the question, why? Why is that? Why is it? And why, and get this, I just had a thought. How many of us have heard or said ourselves, I know I have at some point in my life, we'll say, oh, you get older, you're going to get sick. Arthritis is a normal thing as you age. It's going to happen. Well, in some societies, long ago with indigenous peoples, it was almost non-existent. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have illness and disease at all. Obviously, there's illness and disease, but to the extent of what we see it today, and look at children. And if you are in certain circles and you attempt to have a conversation with a mom about, let's say, sugar and cupcakes and, eliminate wheat from their diet. That's a big step. I'm like, oh, they'll never be able to have a piece of, they won't, they're going to be so sad. It's creating inflammation in your child's body. For example, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that, everybody has to be wheat and grain free and all this. I'm just saying, as an example, if you say to somebody, like cut down on the bread, the macaroni out, but I love bread. I can't go without bread. Well, when your knees hurt and it's staring us right in the face. Indigenous peoples knew this. They knew that we are complex beings, that we're energy within our bodies. We are energy beings in a body, that our food, the way we live, our lifestyles, all of that's connected. Our connectedness with ourselves, with our creator, with each other, with the universe, all of that mattered. Why is it that in modern life we're supposed to be the most sophisticated? Why is it that most of us don't realize this at the level that we need to realize it? And or we realize and say, yeah, but we do the exact opposite. Think about that. When I was 300 pounds, I was already sick, probably, but I knew it was going to manifest, and I was literally going to be very sick. I knew that. I could feel it. That's why I did something about it. Now, am I I'm such a strong, great person? No. I made a decision. I lost 100 pounds on my own. I mean, not complete. I mean, I had a coach. I learned a lot of things. I had teachers. I'm just saying, like, without doing any massive medical intervention, I didn't take any pills. I didn't do anything. I just followed what my teachers were told me. They told me, trust the process. I trusted the process, and I just did the work. That's what I mean. And I did. I lost 100 or a little bit over 100 pounds. And then I kind of got stuck. Then life got in the way. I couldn't keep the regimen of the gym twice a day and all the stuff that I was doing. I just couldn't do it. I was getting tired. And then I made the decision to take a drastic approach. And the drastic approach was I decided to have gastric sleeve surgery. And that's when I learned afterwards that I was a food addict, because it irritated me for a while, just that I couldn't eat things like I did before. Not at all. I couldn't eat them at all. And it irritated me. I'm like, why am I so irritated? A cookie is no big deal. Why am I so irritated? Well, so then I had to deal with that. But I took a drastic approach because I wasn't, after I did the work, changed my lifestyle, changed how I ate, changed how I looked at food, then I took the more drastic approach to finish everything off, because I was getting tired. It was going up and down and up and down. Not drastically, but I couldn't get to where I knew my weight was supposed to be. And I took that approach because I wanted to make sure that I did everything that I could possibly do within my hands and within my power to be able to be healed, healthy, and well. Now, that led to a whole host of other things that I worked through, growth and development, a journey, and where I am now, spiritually, emotionally, all of that. But nevertheless, it took a drastic, I made the first decision, took the first step, did the work, made a drastic decision, did the work. Because I'm so great, I'm so strong, I'm all that. No, not at all. Not at all. But I just made the decision. That's it. Now, when you talk about things being aligned or balanced, or being in tune with nature and animals and the cycles of nature and life and the whole universe, think of this. I think of this so often. I think of mental health. That's another thing that in modern life, mental health issues are just skyrocketing. Anxiety, depression, suicide rates, all these issues with mental health and emotional well-being. And I believe that it's directly related to how we eat and how we live. There's no way around it. With everything that I've learned, that I know, that there's just no way around it. That's what it is. Well, Think about this. Now, I'm not vegetarian. I eat meat, I eat chicken, I eat fish. So I'm not suggesting anybody be vegetarian or you have to be this or that. But think about this. In the West, our whole meat production system and slaughterhouses and all of that, animals are traumatized, basically, because they want that, the whole, it's a huge system. Hundreds of thousands of animals slaughtered, chickens, cows, sheep, lamb, whatever. And if you go and research the slaughterhouses and all this stuff, basically the animals are traumatized. Now, in my religion, we have a certain way you're supposed to slaughter an animal. You're not even supposed to show them the knife that you slaughter them with. And you're supposed to do it very carefully, with great mercy. And there's a prayer that you say. And you're not supposed to show them. You're not supposed to show them the knife. You're not supposed to treat them illy. You're supposed to be comforting to them. So if we are traumatizing animals before they are slaughtered to eat, and then we take that meat and we put that in our bodies, what do you think that's going to do to our bodies? That's energy, and that's energy. What's that going to do to us? This is one example. This is not everything. Like, this is not the only thing. I made this connection quite some time ago. So, animals that are raised grass-fed and range animals and all of that, and that are slaughtered in a humane way, and not traumatized before they're slaughtered. That's important. That was put into place in many religions or many philosophies long ago, thousands and thousands of years ago. Why is it that in modern society we don't get it? It's something to think about. All I'm saying is think about it. All this is about is just thinking about it. Those kinds of things that we may not think of every day. So we wonder why we have so many mental health issues. Well, this is an example, a true living example, another example of something I want to share. I was working with a client, and when you work with me, the first thing that we do, if you're in a full plan, the first thing that we do is we do an Ayurvedic body assessment so that we know your dominant body type or dosha, and we can start aligning what you're eating, your lifestyle, your habits, and strategies that you use to support your body, mind, soul, and spirit to your dominant body type. So we did that. We were talking about all of the different things and all of my suggestions, and she had the plan in hand. And at one point, she was having some trouble with the plan. She was kind of stuck in an area. And I asked her, how did you feel when you ate such and such? Because the first thing I asked her when she said she was having trouble and struggling, I said, tell me what you ate. Tell me what you ingested. And she told me, and I said, okay, how did you feel when you ate this thing, whatever it was? It could have been an apple, could have been whatever. And she looked at me kind of puzzled. And she says, what do you mean? How did I feel? I said, well, how did you feel? How did you feel emotionally? How did you feel physically? How did you feel at that moment when you ate it, that thing? She looked at me and she says, I don't know. I don't know I don't know. And I said, well, first, there's part of the challenge, part of the problem. When you eat, sit and eat each item on your plate that you're eating and be in the moment and present while you're eating it. So you taste it, you chew it, and you experience whatever it is you're going to experience as a result of that piece of food going into your mouth and you eating it. And I said, you can't be racing around and just stuffing stuff in your mouth. So I said, for the next 2 weeks, I want you to keep a journal of what you eat at dinner and how you felt when you ate it. And she did it. And she came back to me and she said, I can't believe it's everything's different now. She said, I didn't even realize how certain things made me feel. And she talked about one item that she ate, and she says, and I was so irritable after I ate it. It's not that I was sick. I didn't have pain. I didn't have gut issues after. I wasn't sick to my stomach. I was irritated. Like 20 minutes after I ate it, I was just irritated for no reason. So these are the kinds of things that when we start working on ourselves and we approach it in a holistic, comprehensive, complete way to address our complex, complete selves that surface that we don't even realize. I didn't realize a lot of things when I first started. I didn't realize a lot of things. I didn't realize that I didn't chew my food well enough. I didn't realize, some of the things I was eating was going to cause me problems because it was feeding, it was too much. My body type it's called pitta, it's fire. It's the dominant is fire. And so I was adding fire to fire. Well, if you add fire to fire, you get more fire. That's not a good thing. Increased inflammation, those kinds of things. The way we live, the way we eat, what we do. So this book, back to our Monday night, this book, and I gave you a few personal examples of my own, but this book is what Evolve Global 22 and the Power of 3. This is the why behind it. Tonight, we basically covered chapter 1. My friends, I am working diligently to try to get this packet together to go along with this. I wanted to start this because I thought it was so important. Next week, chapter 2 is the Natural Geneticist. So that's going to be interesting. That one gets a little bit more technical, but like I did tonight, I'm going to read excerpts and then I'm going to have a simplified summary just because I want this to be like a conversation. I'm sure you can all handle just the straight reading of it, but I do the simplified read aloud version and the summary because it's just so much easier to get through, and it's like having a conversation, not like you're sitting in a class trying to understand all this terminology and back and forth. So I hope it is now. What time is it? It is now 8:55. I am going to do our closing mantra. I hope that you found tonight beneficial to you. I wish you all the most peace, light, and love ever for to go through this week. Remember, Evolve Global 22 has the Healing Light Studio now. We are worldwide via the internet, Zoom. I can do all of my work via Zoom. I've been doing it for quite some time now. And now I have a studio that's on ground, and we can do a hybrid version or an all on ground version if you're in the Malvern, PA area and surrounding areas. For those of you in this area of Pennsylvania, that's the main line area. Go to my website, www.evolveglobal22usa.com. I've redone the whole thing since this since our Healing Light Studio is something that has just happened. I'm actually working on the fine details now, but everything is basically done. I just have to sign off and then we can start. So Mondays are mindful moments. Next Monday, we're going to do chapter 2. Tomorrow night, healing in real life. We're going to talk about healing in real life, give you some examples, give you some examples of small challenges, small wins, great challenges, great wins. So yeah, Wednesday is Threads of Trinity. We're going to crochet and just have a cup of tea. I do, by the way, have my cup of tea almost every night here with me. Grab a cup of tea or something you like to drink during our live stream. And then Thursday is Light Talk and Spirit Flow. I'm going to talk about something that just came up and happened recently with me. One day, I hope that some of you will come on and talk about your experiences. And then Friday is a wellness drop-in. So with that, we will do our closing mantra. So once again, just breathe. Just breathe. Hand over the heart. Closing mantra. I honor my journey. Say it with me. I honor my journey. I release what no longer serves me. I am energy. I am light. I am love. Together we heal. Together we evolve. One more time on this one. I love this. I honor my journey. I release what no longer serves me. I am energy. I am light. I am love. Together we heal. Together we evolve. With that, my friends, you have a wonderful, blessed night ahead and week ahead. I will see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is Tuesday, Healing in Real Life. Don't forget, go check out the website. And if you haven't gotten your gifts, if you celebrate the holidays, very nice gift boxes and gift baskets on there on the website. And also they're gifts for any time, all surrounding healing, health, and wellness. What fell off of my chair tonight was a tester, so I use this one, but I have one that looks like this. That's an actual lap blanket. It's a therapeutic meditation blanket, has a tactile. I also tap into the tactile for healing. So yes, you can go to my website and you can look at that. If you find something, I wish you the best. Everything comes with love, peace, a blessing, and an affirmation. So on that note, all my friends, have a great night ahead.